Hi, I'm Eric. I filmed my phone and welcome to another video. We are back home and I'm so excited to continue my Mitski Chronicles. Yeah, this time with Lush, which I believe came out in 2012, and I believe it's also her debut album, so that's very exciting. We've been kind of taking a trip backwards in time here. Starting with Be the Cowboy, going to Puberty 2, Bury Me at Magar Creek, Retired from Sad, New Career in Business. I edited it there because I just think of individual songs from that record. But now we're going to Lush, which is her earliest project, it's her shortest project, and I'm just really excited to see where she started as an artist. I'm very excited to see the building blocks come together. Thank you for requesting this video, and let's get into it. Track number 1 is Liquid Smooth. Okay, starting with some chill piano. Ooh, got real aggressive real quick. What am I to do with all this beauty? What am I to do with all this beauty? I'm liquid smooth? What does that mean? Feel my skin, it's full of life. I'm at my highest peak? Okay. Take my picture, capture the memory. It's unafraid of living. Okay. This is so ominous and jazzy. It's a vibe. Oh, that's gonna sound amazing in headphones. Oh, okay. Bring out this percussion. It's building. Oh, it feels like we're almost devolving, just falling into madness. Ooh, dark. So that was Liquid Smooth, and what a way to start the album. Wow. Honestly, that, got catchy. I'm just playing in my head, I'm liquid smooth. Very clearly, something that's gonna get stuck in your head, but not necessarily in a pop catchy kind of melody, but more of a haunting sort of melody. I almost got the jazzy feeling and the singer expression of Fiona Apple and Tidal. It feels like that, but then also with the Mitski turn, I feel some of the instrumentation also feels a lot like Shame on Retired from Sad. So there's a lot here, and you can see how she draws from the past as well as builds towards her future, and it's a really great opener. Lyrically, it's about dealing with the beauty of oneself and how it necessarily only lasts so long just because of society standards. And while that might not be the case, but I'm in my prime, take a picture before I fall, capture me, come touch me, my youth and my beauty only lasts so long. And so it's a reflection of that. I mean, I believe she's either late teen, early 20s when this record came out. So she's very much thinking in terms of oh, I'm at my best form. It could all be gone tomorrow. And so, she's definitely thinking existentially, as she always does. But she's also talking about this beauty. And yeah, I think it's a really cool, interesting thing to think about, as well as just also a great song to start off in terms of sonics. It was a song I would definitely listen to again. Track number 2 is Eric. I'm a little scared because that's my name. I mean, she does not know me at that age when she released the record. She still doesn't know me now, but she definitely didn't know me then. So I wonder, hopefully Eric was a good person, but I don't know. But if it's about Mitski and the music that she's writing, I feel like it's not going to be. Okay, starting off simple. Ooh, those ding ding dings are interesting. You like Control? Well, I do too. You can come closer, I'll let you. Help me with the zipper on my skirt? It makes me forgive you? Oh, feels like her voice got like more shiny, more prominent. There's some interesting percussive elements here that I can't quite recognize all in the first listen. Blue Light, isn't that a song in Be the Cowboy? Did you notice your skin? Ooh, I like how she's holding out these notes. I want. Oh, those I wants are getting faster. So that was Eric, and Eric is not my favorite person. Yeah, like this song seems to be about like friends who are more than friends. Like they do things that some friends don't do with each other, but they're still like not like in a relationship. And like she wants to be in a relationship more, but sounds like I'm gonna say it's a he. He doesn't, just because the name Eric, generally speaking, but he doesn't. And that line at the beginning, you like control, I do too, and her version of control is like choosing to allow him to be all over her, like in whatever way he wants, which is an interesting way to define control, but like, I guess if it works for you, it works for you, Mitski. But it seems like it's not really working that much. Like, she really wants to be able to love, like, she definitely has caught feelings for him. But, like, unfortunately, like, it doesn't seem like that's reciprocated, and that's unfortunate. And yeah, it seems like it's also like there's some toxic elements, maybe some physical altercations, but I'm not quite sure about that. It might just be like just being aggressive in an intimate space, but it also, I'm not sure if it's part of like that relationship in terms of like what she also like wants, or if that's like something that's unwanted and like abusive. But let me know what your thoughts down in the comments below. But it seems like this Eric isn't really all that special. Sonically, it's definitely something I was listening to more towards the lyrics, but like the sonics were very like interesting and distinct, and I think with headphones I'll be able to give a more defined thought. Like it's definitely something I think on every Mitski project I'm like, like I need to listen to it again in headphones, especially some of her older stuff, because there's a lot of like cool creative touches that are barely like noticeable unless you're listening with like, you know, earbuds or headphones in. Track number 3 is Brand New City. Oh, what is that intonation, girl? My brain is rotting. My heart's ready to. Ooh. I do like this guitar riff. Oh, this is some clear indie rock. Look at me, tell me what you think. My faith is losing its patience. Oh, sing, Mitski. If I gave up on being pretty, if she fell from Liquid Smooth. Oh, we're getting some catharsis here. Oh, all of a sudden. So that was Brand New City, and that was a fun one. I really enjoyed that. Probably my favorite so far. I want to say that, but Liquid Smooth was also really good. And I don't want to count Eric out yet, but Brand New City was fun sonically. It had much of that guitar that like I just really just vibe to on songs like Townie from Bury Me at Makeout Creek. Like I just vibe to most of those normally. Like it's just always a good time, and I'm glad that like I'm getting that type of sound where there is like this, you know, good strong electric guitar going. Like it's a fun time. It sounds really good with her voice. lyrically, it has a lot of different things. It's a little bit about like the liquid smooth of like, you know, going past your prime and being like, oh, my brain's rotting, like I think my heart's ready to like stop. And like, even though she's like 21 here, like, you know, it's that feeling. You know, I'm 21, so like, you know, it can be a vibe sometimes that you might feel like you can't accomplish anything anymore. But like, it's really cool that like she's bringing to light that and saying that, oh, like maybe if I just move to a brand new city, it'll be like all right. And so sometimes, you know, cleaning the slate is great. Sometimes it's rough. So like, you know, power to her. It doesn't always work out though, as we can probably tell from a lot of Mitski's later projects. The repeating chorus is really, really like cathartic, and like it wasn't tell me what you think. I don't know. I'm not good at hearing, I guess. But it was honey, would you take? And there's a lot of different interpretations. Like people like on Genius Lyrics for like piling on like 10 different definitions about like what that means. And like I see it as like something being taken from her, like her beauty or like her youth or sense of empowerment by like society and like misogynistic society in particular. Or it could also be like, would you take like what would you take like from me as like, you know, the ability to succeed. Like that's one that I didn't even see on there, but like kind of more like, what can I give you that will make you happy? Like what is considered successful, or at least like passing. And like I think there's also a lot of other interpretations, and I'd love to hear what, like when you listen to this song, what did you think the would you take mean? Because a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts, and I would love to hear what your personal thoughts are. But overall, a really good time, really cathartic time, and I'm really excited to listen to that one again. Track number 4 is Real Men. Okay. Quick piano. Staccato. Oh, that didn't even sound like Mitski for a second. Real men don't flinch or bleed in public. Oh, this is societal commentary about men. You are my little boy, not a real man. Get a kid in front of you. You're looking good? Okay, Mitski. Oh, that like intonation was so like very much Mitski. I'm gonna be a real man. Okay, take the power, Mitski. Make me feel lovely for a little while. Okay, she's screaming it out. Oh, she done. So that was Real Men, and that was a very distinct song. I don't think I'm going to forget that song for a long time. Sonically, it's a interesting one. Again, like it starts with that staccato piano, but then it adds some random percussion in there. It has that build kind of at the end, and it's very sudden in its ending. So it's definitely very distinct. I don't even know if I like it, like sonically, because there's so much going on, and I just couldn't like wrap my head around it. So definitely going to be something I have to think about more. Lyrically, it's a very interesting song. It's about like the patriarchy from like her perspective as like a woman, and like especially like about how like the patriarchy affects how like masculinity is perceived, and like she's stating all these things that like real men like feel like they don't flinch, they don't bleed, like they are like tough and they're strong. And she's saying that she's basically that, like, and I think that's very interesting because we do pretty much like harden like women in society and make them like have to, you know, be the ones who don't have to be sensitive. Like they can't talk about like their own biological functions without like making men feel squeamish. And like about how like women actually are just like very powerful, like they're powerful as a gender, and like the patriarchy is basically catered their own sensitive needs as like men to make, you know, women have to do all the heavy lifting pretty much. And so she's saying, oh, like I'm actually like the real man, and like the men that she surrounds herself with are actually like these little boys that really just like need her and are just like they're such emotional beings. And I think that's interesting because also like it, reveals that it's like, a stereotype that like men don't have emotions, that like men do actually have emotions. But like it's also like you're being condescending also towards them. So I don't know if it's necessarily like in like a good way, in a way that makes men feel heard and seen, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I think of it as a little bit more played, more playfully, rather than like, like a serious like thought from Mitski. It's a song and it's a Mitski song. So you can't really take everything super seriously. But like it definitely is a very interesting contrast. But then she also gets into like all she wants to do is like, undress in front of them and like have them validate her. And that's, how she feels as a woman in like society. And like that's definitely like a very valid critique that like women are raised to, you know, feel like they have to get validated by men. And I think even like just applying that to society, I feel like the patriarchy in general has made, oppressed groups as a whole like have to feel like they have to, you know, feel confident and like that they have to assert themselves and, be that like man. But like it's just like a reality that people don't need to do. And like it's just meant to keep people oppressed, and it's just not a great fun time. Like it's definitely damaging to a lot of people's mental health. So I'd be in favor of stopping those standards. They're not good standards. They don't really matter in terms of like actually what makes you a decent person, and it just ruins a lot of people's lives. So let's stop that. But yeah, I think this is a song that I can't just, go through this one song and be like, oh, this is how I feel about it. Like, it's definitely a very interesting message, and it's something that, like, in large parts I agree with, but there's also some parts that I'm like, I don't know if I exactly liked how it went there. But, like, that's, like, also probably nitpicky, and also just in terms of, like, I'm not a woman, and I haven't gone through the same experiences that Mitski has. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to hear it again. I think sonically, I think I need to listen to it again in terms of like whether I want to listen to it again regularly. But yeah, track number 5 is Wife. Piano ballad time. Your home to me? Oh. Leave me a map? I cannot bear you a son? Why not? This is really stripped back. I watched a dream breaking. I've tried. Is this like infertility? Even mine is unknown. With hope it won't disappear. So that was Wife, and that's a sad song. Like, wow. Sonically, stripped piano ballad. I love those. Like, I enjoy them thoroughly. Definitely something we've seen Mitski dabble with on later projects. And so this is nice to hear, like, an early version of, like, what one of those, like, piano ballads that she has been able to, like, create and become in full force and part of her albums. Wife seems to be about, like, this infertile wife that, like, she wants to keep trying to have kids, but it seems like it's not going to work out. And like that like pains her deeply because like in the patriarchy it's like the woman, in a heterosexual marriage like raises the kid and gives like kin to like her husband, and like she can't do that like because of like infertility or whatever. And so she can't pass on the name. She can't pass on her own name, which probably wouldn't happen within her marriage anyway. but like also like she ends up just being relegated to this term wife rather than like, you know, her own name, because like in marriage, like the woman normally drops her name and takes on, you know, her husband's name. Yeah, that is, it symbolizes basically that, you know, she doesn't really have a name for herself, even in her status, like even without the infertility or whatever. And I think that's a really interesting thing. And I think it's really interesting considering Mitski's like Japanese heritage and like, you know, being like Japanese American, like how she like works her way through the world, and like how like, you know, passing on a culturally significant name like would be important to her in a place where that name is basically unheard of or just not that common. And so I think it's really interesting. I think it's a very like thought-provoking song. Like I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite on the album. I think it does give similar things as Me and My Husband, which I think I like that song. But like both of these songs, like they're just in themes that like, as someone who doesn't fall on the straight continuum, and also again as someone who's not a woman, like they're not issues that I think about that much. And while like I think they're really important subjects to have like heard and things to be listened to, like at the same time they're not going to be songs that I relate to as much. And so like I do like the song and I appreciate the work she's done here, but I don't know if it's going to be like the top of the top for me. Track number 6 is Abbey. What is she doing here? I have been hungry. What do I need? I have been something. There's a light that I can see. There's a dream I sometimes see. It only appears in the darkest sleep. Oh, wait, this song is a cappella, isn't it? That's impressive. Oh, okay. College a cappella vibes. I was born waiting. I was born something. Like, it comes full circle, past, present, future. Okay, we added some percussion in there. You can always add percussion. Oh, I don't know what she's saying here at the end. So that was Abbey, and that was such an interesting song. Like, sonically, that was a really cool song. Like, I don't think we've heard a song quite like this in Mitski's discography of, like, the a cappella vocalizing different pitches. Like, it's such an eerie sort of melody there. And, like, I like the percussion that gets added in. Like, it drives it a little bit later, especially, like, as you start to feel it. Like, if it was, like, a minute and a half to a 2-minute song without percussion, like, that would work. But, like, it helps that last like 45 seconds to have that sort of like pushing going, and it feels like we're building somewhere, and it feels cool. Lyrically, the song like is something that's up for interpretation, but it seems generally like the song is talking about her like needing something and she doesn't know what she needs. Like that there's this hunger in her. It's always been there. She was born that way. Like she's always been hungry, and she's hungry now, and she doesn't know what she needs. And I feel like that kind of goes with Crack Baby on puberty too. Like, wow, that I haven't listened to that song in a hot minute, but like it definitely feels like that now that I think about it. And that's cool to think going from there to there about it, because it's like this feeling of like you need something or you're addicted to something, but you don't know what it is. And so you're feeling like this desire to figure it out. And I think that like seems like, yeah, I think that seems very like interesting to talk about. Also the figuring about what her identity is. Like I was born something, but what could I be, and not figuring it out. And you know, at 21, that's a very big time of being like, I don't know what I am. Like you're about to graduate from college and you're like, I don't know what I am. And like that is relatable for sure. And yeah, like the song is cool. Like it's playing in my head. It's kind of distracting me from talking. And I think there's a lot to go on in the song, and apparently Mitski hasn't commented at all about what the song is. But like this song is really cool, and I'm really excited to listen to it again and like kind of derive my own meaning. Track number 7 is Bag of Bones. Is this an accordion? I am all used up. You can hear my high heels walking around. Oh, are we changing key right now? Fluorescent starlights. Would you let me let go? I know my room is a mess, so she didn't leave it tidy. I'll clean tomorrow. That's what I told myself too. You wanna watch it alone? You tear me apart. You tear me apart, Mitski. Ooh, something's haunting in the background right now. Let's shake this poet out of the beast. Ooh, that background noise is getting louder. I don't know what that is, almost like a swarm of bees. Oh, now it's just by itself, existing. So that was Bag of Bones, and that's a very like interesting song. Apparently, it was Mitski's first ever song, or at least like, her quote unquote first ever song, and that's a really good song to start off on. I'll give you that, Mitski. Like it's a very nice ballad about toxic relationship, classic Mitski, and also just in terms of like like dealing with this toxic behavior and like how it affects you, and like there's a lot of cool aspects that I could talk like for several minutes on about, but like some of my favorites are like she hopes that they'll be gone by the time the sun comes up so that she can watch the sunrise by herself, like trying to leave it in her past, and basically moving to a brand new city, but just like a brand new day, but like it's still something that's still cyclical and something that she still deals with. And I think also like the taking the mess off the bed just so that they can be intimate with each other, I think is funny as heck. It seems like that, like, the not tidiness, like, is definitely, a reference to mental health issues. And I think it's really funny and definitely probably something that a lot of people can relate to. Um, just like the dealing of like, oh yeah, let me just get this out of the way, like poor, that hookup culture. And yeah, I think that was also really funny to me, as well as just the last bit about like the shaking the poet out of the beast, less on the funny side, but more like all the way you can interpret that. Like, is this like her, poking the bear for her to create art out of it? Or is it like trying to get the romantic aspects of this person out of the very like primal, animalistic, like physical aspects of their relationship? Like, it could be both. And I think that's what's really cool about Mitski, is that I think a lot of her lines have several meanings to them, and there are so many ways to different analyze it. And I think that any like English teacher who really just wants to go off on it, like they could. The Bag of Bones in it refers to probably just her body, and like also like how she feels like when she's not considered beautiful, when her nail polish is chipped, when she's walking by the fluorescent store lights. It's not stars, but it's her walking by store lights, and they're like lighting up her image, and she's like, "Eh, I don't like how I look." And like this, yes, there's a lot of focus on beauty, and like this album's called Lush, and so that kind of has the idea of like beauty as well. And like, does she consider herself beautiful? Sometimes she does. When she's liquid smooth, yes. But like here, it seems like she doesn't feel like she's beautiful, and we've kind of fallen from the tree. Track number 8 is Door. Ooh, I think this is the continued background noise from Bag of Bones. Ooh, this is beautiful already. At twilight, I almost had it. What does that mean? But then the night fell, so seasons. Not seasons, times of day, cycles. My bad. With my cheek in the dirt? Were you just lying down or did you get hit? At least I finally found it, but at what cost? A hopeless violence? And she named it Love. So that was Door, and ooh, depressing already. Yeah, I mean, like, it's 2 minutes, like, it's a shorter song. I mean, it's standard for Mitski, like, now, but, like, back then, like, that's a really short song, and, like, I think on this album I had much more tolerance about like, how long a song could be, and now I'm like, wow, that was short, and I could barely, like, take it in, but she's saying that there's a door to her, and she keeps trying to find it. The night fell and she couldn't find it. She's like, how could I have lost like the key to me? And she figured it out like in the park. I don't know why she was in the dirt, like why her cheek was in the dirt. Like, did she get punched down there? Like I don't know, just like feeling hopeless, like just lying down. I don't know, homeless. I have no idea. And she figured out what's beyond that door, and it was a hopeless violence, and she named it Love. So if that tells you anything about how she feels about love, it's not great. Like, she definitely feels like, no, it's not it. And yeah, like, it's definitely a message I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. It's a sad song. It's a short song. It's one of her songs that I feel like has, like, you know, like on Genius it only has like 2 paragraphs, and like how like a lot of her songs on Be the Cowboy are a lot like that, but like, you know, this was something she was experimenting with, that she was like, yeah, I can write a song that has just that many words, not that much more, and she made it work. And I think it's a song that I think I just need to listen to again, like expecting, oh, this is a song that will pass by quickly, and, you know, allow for myself to exist in that, because it's definitely not the type of song that like this album presents itself as, but it's definitely a song that works within the Mitski like overall world. Track number 9, last track on this album, Pearl Diver. Ooh, that's dark piano. Mm-hmm. Treasure Hunter, you are dead? Follow the tide with the monsters on your shoulders. Dive deeper. Where? Dive down. Again, where? Hunter, you were human. Ooh, reality check. The struggle will be daily. That sounds like a Mitski feeling. Pearl Diver. Ooh, she's singing. I should let her sing. Oh, sing us out, Mitski. Ooh, and now we're just phasing out to Treasure Hunter. So that was Pearl Diver, and that was a really interesting way to close it. Like, sonically, still a very jazzy number, like very Liquid Smooth-esque, and I think it's nice to bookend this album with both of those numbers. Like, they are some of the more catchier songs on here, and like, I enjoyed it. Like, Pearl Diver seems to be possibly even about her in the third person, but like realizing that you have to dive deeper and like, you know, keep struggling to find like probably the person for you or something that makes you happy, considering how sad she's been on this album and how sad she's been on every album after that. But like after like, you know, thinking about all that, like you see this is kind of like it's kind of hopeful, but it's also sad. She's like the light in the world's fading. Like she's definitely becoming more disillusioned. Like it's a college age vibe and definitely a sentiment to have at this age. I know I personally have it. And so like her saying, "Oh, pearl diver" to herself, like dive deeper to like find what makes you happy. You need to dive down. Like it could be either, you know, spiraling, or it could just be like you just got to keep looking. And so weirdly optimistic, but I don't know if it's optimistic. Like it's still a sad-ish type song. It still has a very moody feeling to it. And so I'm very excited to listen to it again. I think this song, like, it's playing in my head. A lot of the songs on here are playing in my head. And so it's been nice to have songs that are definitely that memorable. And I think it's the piano with also just how she delivers. Like she delivers in a very distinct way that makes you remember it very clearly in your head. And I appreciate that. Like it definitely not only makes her songs like more memorable and more recognizable, but like it also makes the songs, I guess, more satisfying for listeners. With that said, we have finished this album and I am very happy that I got to listen to this project today. Like it feels weird ending like the main Mitski chronicles here. Like, you know, when she drops a new album in the future, I would love to listen to it if you all want me to listen to it. Like this album is very interesting. It's very distinct. It like definitely feels like she's working with a lot of different vibes here. Like I was reading that like she said it was like her most like separate album. Like all the sounds like don't necessarily go together because like she just kind of like put a bunch of songs that she'd written onto an album together. I disagree with that entirely. Like this feels a very cohesive album to me. Like I feel like not only is it a very cohesive album, but it's also like sonically, like even though there's a lot of experimentation that I really appreciate and like different sounds that it goes into, like it's definitely I would want to say that it is like there are a lot more similarities in between the songs sonically here than on a lot of later projects. Like I think of, for example, like Retired from Sad, even like Strawberry Blonde, Class of 2013, like sorry, those are the two songs I recognize most from them. But like those songs and like Shame and Square, like all of those are like so different sonically. And I feel like it's selling herself short to think that her albums later like became more singular when they didn't. And like then it's also like kind of, you know, not giving her credit in making an album that does sound cohesive and does sound like you want to listen to it probably all in one sitting. Like it definitely takes you on a ride. It's under 30 minutes, so it's like a ride that's pretty manageable. And it's overall like a good time. I enjoyed this record. Like, is it gonna be my favorite Mitski project? Probably not. And I think if it was my favorite, that would be like weird, I feel like, because like she's had so much evolution throughout it. And I'm not saying that that means you have to like be the cowboy in the most, because I don't think I do either. I'm still figuring it out. But like I think I don't think that Lush is gonna be my favorite project, but it's gonna be a project that I definitely like, and that there's a lot of songs on here that like are noticeable and important and interesting. And I'm really glad that we got to have that like with her. Like it feels nice to really see where she began. Like this is an album that she made when she was my age. And so like I mean, although I've made an album before, like it's very exciting to like see what her thoughts were going into this. And like even if this isn't like her necessarily her most popular project, like I think it's really important for people who really are fans of Mitski to see where she started, because there's really like a solid body of work right here. And I really think if you haven't really listened to it much, I think you should give it a listen. Like it's a good time. With that said, here are some of my favorites. So the top tier are the songs I love, the standouts, the ones I'm playing over and over. Songs I like are the songs I'm going to add to my playlist, but they might not be the top of the top. And songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they can't be your favorite song. Doesn't mean they're a bad song. Just means they're probably not for me. And that's okay. We can have different opinions, different vibes. Like, she's a different person than me. If you like this video, please like it, please comment down below what you'd like for me to react to or listen to next. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later. It's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. Just smile big, open your eyes. It's storming turtles, it's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. Just smile big, open your eyes.